Coming up tonight on the news at 6, Republicans and Democrats on the House Judiciary Committee spar over testimony on a bill barring sanctuary cities in Montana. Plus,
I could not imagine where my life would be right now without the Salvation Army.
The Helena Salvation Army's new expansion is done and ready to help them provide even better service.
From Montana's news leader, this is MTN News at 6.
Good evening. Welcome to the news at 6. I'm Marian Davidson. Thanks for joining us. Montana lawmakers argued today over what type of testimony should be allowed during a hearing on a bill to block sanctuary cities in the state. House Bill 200, sponsored by Republican Representative Ken Homeland, had its first hearing in the House Judiciary Committee. Now, it would prohibit state and local governments from putting in sanctuary policies. That means refusing to provide information about someone's immigration status or refusing to comply with federal requests to detain someone for possible immigration violations. There are currently no cities in Montana with sanctuary policies, but supporters say they want to proactively discourage them. During the testimony, the committee chairman asked two opponents of the bill to avoid talking about race or racism, saying immigration status and not race was at issue. Democrats on the committee then argued proponents of the bill had previously made inappropriate statements about undocumented immigrants' impact on communities.
To subject us in the committee to something that's off the bill, which is a violation of the rules, and second, to go down a road of supposition of what she thinks his bill was brought for, I'd still stick to my objection, sir. I don't think this is part of this committee.
We have heard testimony in this committee from others that have made suppositions about the opposition and made pretty broad statements that had no basis of fact and were not rooted in the legislation that was being brought. So if that is a criteria that you're going to apply, it needs to be applied on all sides consistently.
The hearing on House Bill 200 continued with the chair asking those speaking to continue to keep race out of their testimony. The legislature passed a very similar bill in 2019, but it was vetoed by then Governor Steve Bullock. And Governor Greg Gianforte is scheduled to give his first State of the State address to the Montana legislature this Thursday. You can watch the entire event on the KTVH streaming app for Roku and other devices. Coverage starts at 7, and to learn more about the KTVH streaming app, visit ktvh.com/streaming. Well, some happy news tonight. Members of the Montana Army National Guard, who helped provide security for President Joe Biden's inauguration, will begin returning home tonight. Governor Greg Gianforte's office says the soldiers will start to arrive in Helena this evening, and all should be back in the state by tomorrow morning. The governor will be there to greet them, and after returning to Montana, the soldiers will be taken to Fort Harrison for demobilization and to return their equipment. They will also be screened for COVID-19. Now, about 150 Montana soldiers assisted with the security mission. All right, now it's time for weather with Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenitz, but I don't see him anywhere. Curtis?
You know, I just thought I'd give the scooter all the credit today. Since the scooter's been holding me up here yesterday.
Well, it wasn't there yesterday.
I know. That's because I put a little green blanket over the scooter yesterday, covered it up. Everybody thought I was just acting normal, whatever normal is these days. Good evening, everybody. Take a look at the morning temperatures out there. The scooter will point the way. 24 below in Poplar, 16 below in Elk Park, Lincoln, down to about 2-3 degrees below zero and 2 degrees above zero. In the Helena area, yeah, cold temperatures, but you know what? Not too out of the ordinary here for Montana in January. There you can see the numbers, wind chill values, northeast Montana down below zero, and we've got a wind chill advisory here again. January hasn't been really harsh, but these are some harsh conditions, especially when you get frostbite out here in about 30 minutes or so. So keep that in mind through tonight and tomorrow morning. But the air mass is warming. We'll talk about a few Friday flakes, and the beginning of February looks like a little more activity as far as storms go. I'll have more in the scooter will have more in the full forecast coming up.
Now taking a look at the state's COVID-19 situation, active cases of COVID-19 and hospitalizations from the virus in Montana continue to decline. As of today, there are about 4,100 active cases and fewer than 130 people hospitalized with COVID-19. Now, there has been an increase of 11 deaths, which brings the statewide death total to 1,180. MTN uses a combination of state and local data to provide you with the most up-to-date numbers regarding COVID-19 in our state. Because of that, our numbers may differ from the state report. The Helena Salvation Army's new expansion is done and ready to help the nonprofit better serve clients. Tonight, MTN's John Riley introduces us to one man who says the group changed his life.
The Helena Chamber of Commerce celebrated the completion of the Salvation Army's new expansion Tuesday morning. The new space will help them serve more clients and improve the quality of several services offered by the organization.
We invite everyone to come through our doors. We want to help all those that are in need, no matter what the need is. If we can't serve you here, if we don't have the resources here, we're going to find out where we can refer you.
The Salvation Army can help with case management, housing and rental assistance, meals, substance abuse, and more. For those who are experiencing a difficult situation, sometimes just the act of asking for help can be a big hurdle. But the Salvation Army wants people to know that once you do take a step in that direction, it can help put you on a path towards a better tomorrow. Salvation Army Facilities Coordinator Travis Kelly found himself at just such a crossroad a few years ago. He had lost his job, couldn't afford treatment for his cataracts, and was constantly worrying about how to put food on the table for his children.
I came to the Salvation Army for some rent assistance, and they looked over my case and noticed that I was struggling with a lot of areas of my life, so they offered me an opportunity to join their transitional living program.
The program helped Kelly find firm footing. He was then able to get his bills under control and provide a better outlook for his family.
They didn't necessarily do the steps for me, but they guided me in the right direction on how to improve my life, and I was 100% grateful for that. And I could not imagine where my life would be right now without the Salvation Army, and I'm so very, very grateful for what they have done for me.
Staff say they've seen an increased need during the pandemic, but know there are even more people they could help that never come through their doors.
When you come to the Salvation Army or another helping agency, someone who's willing to resource you and help guide you through first steps to change and stabilization, it's an opportunity to rewrite your future.
Reporting in Helena, John Riley, MTN News.
Still ahead on the news at 6, despite a rising poverty rate and millions of jobs lost this year, state officials say there are hopeful signs.
News Leader. You're watching MTN News at 6.
Welcome back to the news at 6. The poverty rate in the U.S. surged at the end of last year at the fastest rate in more than 50 years. Economists say the poverty rate increased 2.4% at the end of 2020 due to the continued impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now that is almost double the largest annual increase from the 1960s. Economists say that means 8 million more people now live in poverty. Their report shows a poverty rate of just under 12%. Now that is down from a decade ago, but still higher than pre-pandemic levels. And the COVID-19 pandemic caused millions of people to lose their jobs over the past year. But now it looks like people are starting to find work again. MTN's Kaylee Neitzel reports.
Many working Montanans have been forced to leave the job industry due to the COVID-19 pandemic. A UN report on Monday found that 4 times as many jobs were lost last year due to the virus than the worst part of the 2009 global financial crisis. At its peak, over 83,000 people in Montana filed for unemployment insurance.
Yes, the job losses during this pandemic recession has been very, very severe. However, the other side of that story is we have come back from those job losses so quickly that we're both better than and worse than the last recession at the same time.
Back in April of 2020, the unemployment rate jumped to a level not seen since the Great Depression in the 1930s, and the increase in unemployment translates to a worldwide loss of $3.7 trillion in income. However, despite an unemployment rate of 4.5%, Jobs EQ shows that there are over 1,500 online job advertisements in Great Falls alone, and over 9,000 across the state. And with more job postings, the workforce is eager to hire more help.
There's been a lot of job postings. Currently have between 80 and 90 open positions, with the biggest need being in nursing right now. I have lots of CNA, CMA, LPN, and RN positions available.
As of this month, the official Montana state website shows that less than 25,000 Montanans applied for unemployment benefits, dropping more than 58,000 claims since April. In Great Falls, Kaylee Neitzel, MTN News.
All right, now with another look at the weather, here's Curtis's scooter.
Yeah, and low pressure scooting on down the left coast here. This storm will produce as much as 80 inches of snow into the Sierra Nevada. And look at that monster storm out in the Pacific. Will either of these give Montana any snow? The scooter will have more coming up.
Now with Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenens.
Back, everybody, live look at Great Falls. 17 degrees out there right now, and you know the wind hasn't been that bad, but any little wind with temperatures this cold, we've got a little wind chill out there. How about that light out still here this late into the evening? 21 degrees in Helena, chilly day. We had a little fog earlier today, a few flakes of snow as well as that fog was lifting. Current readings here around the state, if you can't see, let me just move the scooter out of the way here. Colder the farther northeast you go here into the state. Parts of North Dakota well below zero right now. And again, that wind coming out of the east continuing to transport some of that colder Canadian air here across a lot of Montana. Now, radar, nothing really going on. All right, maybe a few flakes of snow out there around Spokane, and believe it or not, Portland, Oregon, seeing some snow almost all the way down to the Oregon coast. That's that big storm that will produce a lot of snow for the Cascades and the Sierra. Blizzard warnings for parts of the Sierra Nevada into California. Imagine 80 inches of snow from one storm, 100-mile-per-hour wind speeds as well. So that's a major storm. And winter storm warnings extend all the way up into eastern Idaho. So if anybody's traveling down around West Yellowstone, Island Park into Idaho, or up over Monida Pass over the next 24 to 48 hours, it will be snowy. Just not a lot of that snow coming into Montana. Some snow into the northeast, some snow in the central part of the country, basically some snow everywhere except for Montana, at least for the time being. So we will see a little snow approach the state tonight and tomorrow. Again, down around the Monida Pass area, over around Lolo Pass, Lookout Pass, picking up some snow, but little to no snow coming down east of the Continental Divide. Partly cloudy skies for Wednesday. Thursday, mostly cloudy, but heading into Friday, that's when there may be just a little snow coming through Friday night into Saturday here. A couple of snow showers Saturday morning. Sunday, the final day of January, looks partly cloudy and fairly quiet. And next week, February, it's right around the corner, and maybe a little snow around Groundhog Day, Tuesday into Wednesday. But until then, incredible amounts of snow into parts of California here. It's good to see somebody's getting the moisture. Some snow again into eastern Idaho, the Tetons picking up a hefty amount of accumulation, but little to no snow here in Montana until we get into next week. There may be Friday night into Saturday about an inch of snow. There you can see the temperatures tonight down once again, parts of the state below zero, especially northeast Montana. Little belts could be down below zero, and a chilly night around the Helena area once again. Here's the forecast for tomorrow. That is a warm front, slightly warmer air coming up from the south here. Temperatures not noticeably that much warmer, but it will be warmer by about 5 to 10 degrees. Partly cloudy skies. Heading into Thursday, partly to mostly cloudy. The warmer air lifting a little further towards the north. Heading into Friday, a little area of low pressure working through south central Montana, and a little light snow possible here again. This is where we could see maybe an inch of snow on Friday night into Saturday, and then heading into the weekend, the final one of January already. Looking at, after a couple of morning snow showers, partly cloudy skies here as that low pressure heads on out. Here is the 7-day forecast for Helena. So partly cloudy the next couple of days. Friday afternoon, Friday night, into Saturday morning, likely seeing a couple snow showers in the area. back up into the 40s for this weekend into early next week. Before Tuesday and Wednesday, that's our next chance for some snow. And for Great Falls, slightly warmer here over the next few days. Maybe a snow shower Friday night into Saturday, but looking at Groundhog Day next week for our next chance for snow.
All right, thank you, Curtis's Scooter. Coming up, it is News Literacy Week, and up next, we'll show you new tools available to make fact-checking easy.
News Leader. You're watching MTN News at 6.
Welcome back to the News at 6. This week is News Literacy Week, and we made a commitment to highlighting how you can avoid falling for misinformation. Tonight, learn about the growing resources available to make fact-checking easy for anyone, and also why some people are resistant to quickly verifying information before sending it to someone else. Alicia Nieves reports.
Everywhere you look, information is being presented to you. And now, more than ever, we have become aware that the information is not always accurate.
Information is the basis for all the decisions we make. It can distort the democratic process and damage our communities, our families.
Peter Adams is with the News Literacy Project, a nonpartisan and nonprofit organization that provides resources for students and the public to learn how to sort through new information.
The first step, I would say, is to pay attention to where you are in the information ecosystem. So if you're watching standards-based news, you at least know that some processes of verification have taken place there. When you're on social media, when you're on Facebook or Snapchat or Instagram or TikTok, most of that is user-generated content. And so you don't know who produced that information, and you don't know their motives or their methods.
Regardless of where the information comes from, it should be fact-checked. And that is something that has become quicker and easier to do.
Checking the comments actually can be a great way if something seems a little too on the nose. If you don't see anything in the comments, do a quick Google search. You can do that in about 45 seconds.
There's also a growing list of credible websites dedicated specifically to fact-checking information. One of the oldest is Snopes.com. On the homepage of this site, you'll see new headlines already researched and fact-checked. You can also use a search bar to fact-check something not on the main page that you might have come across. You simply type the headline or pose it in a question form, and the website will present you with fact-checked links to get accurate information on that issue.
In the same way that, you know, there's a social good to showing some restraint with your garbage and not throwing it down where you stand or throwing it in the street. If everybody took 1 minute before they shared something they weren't sure about, we could eliminate a lot of the pollution in our information streams.
If fact-checking has become easier and faster than ever, why isn't everyone doing it?
In a way, the internet has so much content on it, which is fascinating, amazing, but it's so hard to digest.
Dr. Daniel Jolly is a senior lecturer at Northumbria University in the UK and focuses on the psychology of conspiracy theories and misinformation. He says some people feel safer staying in what he calls an echo chamber, reading and sharing information that supports their beliefs. It's scarier and risky for them to check information that could challenge that belief system.
So it is important to talk to people who are in those echo chambers, but the key thing is to have compassion, because if you go in and you tell that person that they are wrong and you are right, already that person will be defensive.
Having compassion while normalizing a habit of fact-checking could help all of us more easily filter through all the information thrown at us to get to actual facts. I'm Alicia Nieves reporting.
Well, this is News Literacy Week. It's a whole week dedicated to helping our viewers and readers spot fake news stories, stop people from sharing misinformation, and learn how to tell the difference when there is so much out there that looks real. And we'll wrap things up here on the News at 6 when we come back.
News Leader. You're watching MTN News at 6.
All right, welcome back, everybody. I'm sure you already use Google for probably pretty much any question you have. And Google Maps wants to help you find the closest COVID-19 vaccination site. Google made the announcement after reporting a 500%, yes, 500% increase in searches for vaccines near me since the beginning of the year. Now, the new feature will begin this week in Arizona, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas, and it will include details about whether an appointment is required, if the vaccine is only available to certain groups, and if there is a drive-through. A recent survey by the Kaiser Family Foundation found 60% of Americans say they don't know when or where to get a vaccine. And that does it for the news at 6. We'll be back here with your latest news headlines and, of course, another look at the weather from Curtis's scooter tonight at 10. We'll see you then.